Hi everyone, welcome to another 15 cards episode where I look at various card sets from my collection, and at this point we're still cherry picking from what I call my booster binder, which has not all the sets but a large number of Magic sets from Magic's history, just literally one booster from each, which I opened way back. And we have some Innistrad here. I'm trying to pick with a lot of my videos now things that are synonymous or I associate with this time of year in December. And this is a good case in point. So I don't know if it's the same with a lot of people, but you know, with shorter evenings, particularly when I was living in the UK, you know, I always associate this time of year with things like ghost stories and folk horror and all sorts of other things as well. And so I find that Innistrad really actually makes me think a lot of this time of year, just because that association. So I thought it would be a good thing during December to, for my 15 card episodes, feature the sets from this block. So we're doing Innistrad first. So I think you know how this works. If you've seen these before, we'll go through, look at the cards, I'll read out what's on them, and then we'll zoom in, look at the artwork. We start off with a rather nice foil. So this pack had a foil in it. Common, Avacyn Priest, 1 and a white, 1/2, creature, human, cleric. 1 tap target non-human creature. Some very nice land artwork in this. Quite creepy. And we've got a swamp here from that set, and you would have seen these in one of my Yuletide specials, the Land Ahoy, of which I'll be doing another one this year, and it will be probably a combination of foil and maybe full art. I'll see how much foily goodness I've got in land as to whether I need to feature in the episode full art as well. We'll see how that goes. Maybe I'll save full art till next year. And here's our rare Champion of the Parish. So a single white 1/1 creature, human soldier. Whenever another human enters the battlefield under your control, put a 1/1 count on Champion of the Parish. So already in the pack we're seeing a pull towards playing humans. So this one cares about humans entering the battlefield, and the previous one, Avacyn Priest, taps down non-human creatures. So let's see what else we've got here. Oh, we've got a Gatstaff Shepherd, or 1 and a green, 2/2, creature, human, werewolf. At the beginning of each upkeep, if no spells were cast last turn, transform Gatstaff Shepherd. So it's a 2/2, but when it transforms, it's Gatstaff Howler, or Gatstaff Howler. Creature werewolf, 3/3 with Intimidate. So this creature can't be blocked except by artifact creatures and or creatures that share a colour with it. At the beginning of each upkeep, if a player casts 2 or more spells, last turn, transform Gatstaff Howler. As always, what I'll do is I'll include links in the description to any additional videos I've done about this set. So for those of you that aren't familiar with Innistrad, can learn a little bit more, and any other links that I think might be useful. Lantern Spirit, 2 and a blue, 2/1 creature spirit with flying. Single blue, return Lantern Spirit to its owner's hand. Creature spirit. Falconwrath Noble, 3 and a black, 2/2 creature vampire with flying. Whenever Falconwrath Noble or another creature dies, target player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Desperate Ravings. So 1 and a red, instant. Draw 2 cards, then discard a card at random. Has flashback, so for 2 and a blue, you may cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it. One-Eyed Scarecrow. 3 to cast, 2/3 with Defender. Creatures with flying your opponent's control get -1, -0. Moon Mist, 1 and a green instant. Transform all humans. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn by creatures other than werewolves and wolves. Only double-faced cards can be transformed. Treacherous Blood, 1 and 2 red sorcery. Gain control of a target creature until end of turn. Untap it, it gains trample and haste until end of turn. So you probably recognise red cards that do similar things to that, various variants of that idea. Sell off Occultists, 2 and a blue, 2/3 creature human rogue. Whenever sell off Occultist or another creature dies, target player puts the top card of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Traveller's Amulet. It's 1 to cast, 1, sacrifice Traveller's Amulet, search your library for a basic land card, reveal it, then put it into your hand, then shuffle your library. So this is one of those artifacts which we see variants of and functional reprints of, this particular type, quite a bit in Magic. Crops up in sets as a sort of way of fixing or ramping mana, should I say. Elder Cathar, 2 and a white, 2/2 creature human soldier. When Elder Cathar dies, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. If that creature is a human, put 2 1/1 counters on it instead. Forbidden Alchemy, 2 and a blue instant. Look at the top 4 cards of your library, put 1 of them into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Flashback for 6 and a black. You may cast this card from your graveyard for its flashback cost, then exile it. Altar's Reap, 1 and a black instant. As an additional cost to cast Altar's Reap, sacrifice a creature, draw 2 cards. And then finally, if anybody's can remember the time, so yeah, there were these. This was a promo card for Jewels of the Planeswalkers, which I think was on its 2nd iteration. I can't remember if it came out in. First time it came out was it 2011? I don't know if there was one in 2010 or not. But anyway, certainly it was a. Every year they do a version of the software, and it would be available on PC. PS3 at that point and Xbox, if I remember rightly, each one they'd change it up slightly. So on this particular version of the software, the 2012 Jewels of the Planeswalker, they had Arch Enemy in it, multiplayer Arch Enemy, and because of the way it was set up, oh look, there we go, PSN, Steam and XBLA. Okay, yeah, so because I think all of the, now I think of it, all of these Jewels of the Planeswalker are actually still available on Steam. Maybe I should do an episode on those. I think I've got all of them. Yeah, I should get around to doing an episode and go through the different iterations of these. That might be quite interesting. Let me know in the comments if you'd like me to do something like that. I might have to play around with the settings on my computer to be able to screen capture that stuff. But yeah, let me know. But yeah, this brings back memories because you could, if my memory serves me correctly, you could set it up so that all the opponents are computer controlled. So yeah, that was quite an interesting setup. Let's now have a look at these close up and see what we can see. There we go, it's not too bad, is it? Got it right first time. There's a first. Okay, so it's interesting with this one, and I can't remember whether it was a case with the original one, but from a certain angle, the foiling makes the card look quite grainy. I don't know if anybody caught that, but as you move it around, you can see no, it's actually not. It's just an effect of the foiling does that, particularly on the way the sort of foiling interacts with the cloud, I think. but we've got some nice colours there as we move it around. Cool. Not surprisingly, you'll notice that a lot of these cards, just because I suppose the theme of the set, it's quite a sort of dark hue generally to the artwork on a number of these. But yeah, nice swamps in this set from what I remember. Yeah, it makes me also want to just crack open one of my binders where I've got my Innistrad cards that I would have opened around that time. Because at this point I was definitely opening product as it came out. Fun times. Innistrad. I think I mentioned before, that's probably my favourite period is from, when would you say it? M10 through Zendikar into Scars, and then into this set, this block. Champion of the Parish. That's some pretty impressive armour, I must say. Nice sword. I'm pretty sure it's some sort of armour. I can't quite tell what it's made of. I like the like the spikes on the shoulder pads there. Something a bit more pastoral. That's one hell of a lot of sheep there. You see them all sort of trailing into the distance. And this is the only... I'm trying to remember how the slots went in this. I'm not sure, was it the case that there was always one double face card? Yeah, I can't remember whether they had a specific slot for that or not, actually. Refresh my memory in the comments if you can remember, because I can't remember off the top of my head whether they had a dedicated slot or whether it was semi-random. Oh dear, it's like he's eaten the flock. It's not too good. Lantern spirits. There's some pretty cool spirits in this set in terms of the artwork and the cards, but yeah, the artwork particularly. And I'm sure if you're familiar with the set, spring to mind. This to me looks like a bit of a piratey vibe almost here. This looks like it's like a curved blade. Well, there wasn't a pirate theme in this set, but from the back looks a bit piratey. Oh, now we see this is a great one, because I've looked at this card so many times, but I've never really paid any attention to the intricate detail here. This is really cool. And they've got this very scary floaty artwork where the vampires is floating there, and anybody that's familiar with what's that horror film where it's really creepy, where the young boy that's been turned into a vampire is floating outside his friend's window. Salem's Lot. Oh dear, I'm getting shivers now just thinking about it. That's so creepy. Yeah, floaty vampires creep me out. Desperate ravings. Oh, they look pretty desperate, and they're raving. Another one where you probably miss a lot of the detail. There's our, I suppose, farmhouse in the background. Okay, so we do have, was it multiple werewolves here? Again, yeah, with this card, probably never paid a lot of attention to it. But to me, it probably looked like, you know, a moon with low clouds. But then you're looking closer, and yeah, there's these werewolves racing towards you. What is going on? Is this assuming? What is that? Is that is a dragon, isn't it? Yeah, I was just trying to work out where the head was. Okay. So what, head here? And wings, maybe? That's actually, looks really cool on camera, actually. Looks a little weird. Is that water down the front there, almost like slightly coastal in some ways. What can we see on Traveller's Amulet? Is that, what is that in the background there? Is that some sort of castle or citadel? Might be. Be interesting to see one of those in foil. Again, you know, we've probably seen them already where it is the case. Yeah, you've got quite a lot of these cards fitting in with the theme and the vibe, the aesthetic of the set. Yeah, a lot of the artwork looks quite foggy or dark in some places. So you can really sort of get absorbed into the aesthetic of this set. Forbidden Alchemy. This reminds me a lot of the, I can't remember the name of the card now, but there was a card in this block which was a transform card, and was a popular card in a deck. I saw a lot of play, and I just can't remember what it was called. But yeah, there's similar cards which just have that, you know, sort of deranged experimenter, Frankenstein type yeah, vibe to them. And this is one, I don't know if you can see all the little containers there with various, I don't know whether that's, is that a hand maybe? Possibly. I think that might be a hand facing with the fingers, or a claw with the, yeah, sort of facing down, claws facing down maybe. Okay, what's Altar's Reap doing? Oh, yeah, there's quite a bit of action going on here. I imagine this nice purple smoke might pop quite nice on foil. Lots of sort of little details everywhere. Oh, that reminds me again. This reminds me, the character here, of another card. And there's a card. It's in 10th edition, I think. And I'm trying to remember what the name of the card is, but it does remind me of that. Oh, and there's our arch enemy card. Not much to see there really. But you are the arch enemy. Wow. Makes me want to dig those out and have a play. Okay. I think I mentioned there was the early ones. I remember them actually creating decks to go with the release of the, like paper decks to go with the release of the software. And also, if anybody else remembers, and I did it for a few of those, you could redeem, there was a code you could redeem to get like a promo card for the different platforms it was available on. So yeah, cool. Okay, there we have it. Well, thanks once again for watching. Bye for now, and I will catch you in a future episode.